As we look through the Bible, God does not always pick the best. He doesn't pick the top flight, the elite, the person who has the most money. He doesn't pick the best. He's picked some awful people to spread his word across the world. People that other people put down, didn't want to be bothered with, like, you're talking to me type thing. You can imagine same things that we go through nowadays. It's like you have no business talking to me. I know more than you. I went to this school. I did this. My kids are this. I have wealth beyond control that I don't need you. And God didn't pick those people not to spread his word. It was always somebody that had a background that was bad, or a little turmoil going on in there, or refused to do something. Not that they didn't believe, sometimes they were afraid. Some people that had no faith, those are people that he picked to be with him, to spread the word. The people that were going to get the most flack, the most problems with other people, because those type of people, they draw out the people that really truly believe in God. They draw them out because they have to have a lot of faith, because then when they follow that person, they wind up being persecuted too along with that person because you are following them. There's no forgiveness. And they continue to persecute that person all the way through. But that's where God is looking for faith. Do you have that faith just to follow that person till the end, to get to a better place? You got to think about Moses. Moses was not the best. You know, the people who wrote the Bible, they put him on a pedestal. You know, they made a movie about him. But it wasn't just Moses. It was his brother Aaron. Moses refused when God told him, go do this, go do that. Remember, his mom had sent him to down the riverbank to Egypt, better life, blah, blah, blah. They adopted him. He became one of the Egyptians. And he grew up, and it was probably some things that he did to the Hebrews that were not on the up and up. He was classified as an Egyptian. He was, you know, the son, now adopted son. He had got those traits. So you can think he wasn't on the up and up. But God chose him to bring them out of that place. And what did he say? I can't talk. Now, we don't know whether he had a disability, a speech impairment. We don't know what happened. Or he was just didn't have any confidence. He may not have had a lot of faith, but there was a little faith. Maybe he didn't have enough faith to bring him out. We don't know what went wrong. He could have had a learning disorder. And so God said, well, we'll get Aaron. At that time, Moses was 80 years old. He had been in Egypt 80 years. And so you shouldn't be putting down older people. This is an older guy. His brother Aaron was 83. And Aaron stayed by his side all through this. You don't hear much of Aaron, but Aaron was there. Aaron knew how to also do things. God told him and showed him how to do things. It was not just Moses. But Aaron got pushed in the background. But Aaron and Moses still at times defied God. The stone, God wanted it turned into, have water flowing from it. And Moses and Aaron, instead, they struck the stone. God didn't say that. He said, I want you to speak to the stone. That's disobedience to him. You're not paying attention to me. I said speak. I didn't say hit. They had a lot of times like that. Aaron eventually even had two sons that disobeyed God by doing an unauthorized fire in the temple. They were destroyed by fire in the end. There was a reason, Moses, they were also wandering through that forest trying to bring the people out. Aaron had went to the idol with the other people doing things. So these were not the best people. Yes, they became great people later on. Aaron became priest. He was head of the priests. They became great men later on. There were great women later on, like Rahab. Some say Rahab, some say Ray Ray, whatever you want to say. It's fine. It's still her. She was a prostitute. God used her to protect his people. And she found God. God does not use his best because he sees everything. He knows every secret, every thought that you are thinking at all times. Another instance, Abraham and Sarah. Sarah laughing, you're going to give me a child at this age. And Abraham was laughing and rolling his eyes too. Not the best, but Abraham got to be the father of everything. David, King David, look, David, play on your heart. David and Goliath, they got him all bunched up. But he was looking over at some women through the window that was married. David was terrified. Okay? David was not your best, but he became King David. He became the father practically of all the lineage of the people all the way to Jesus. Paul used to persecute Christians. And all of them kind of came to their senses. Jesus, when he was a little boy, his friends were sparrows. Sparrows are little birds. They do things. They blah, blah, blah. They get in their little group, party back here, whatever. They're just little playful, fun-loving, sometimes tear up birds. They tear things up sometimes if they get crazy. But that was his best friend. He loved playing with sparrows. He had friends. He had even did something with a little boy, and parents had to say, okay, stop. And he had grown in that neighborhood, and people did not look up to him as the best. Okay, you're not the best. Your mama think, that God is your dad. They probably talked all, the gossip was flowing, right? Yeah, Mary had that illegitimate baby. Yeah, right. Yeah. And the husband had the nerve to stay with her. Oh, really? The talk was flowing. And Jesus heard it. Just like people talk and the kids hear it. And they grow up hearing that, but we hope it didn't affect him, but it probably affected him for some time during that time until he got into his 30s. He had been trained as a carpenter, like his dad, Joseph, stepdad practically, but got trained. But he decided at 30 to go out, and he challenged those high priests about their money. He had learned about the Bible and the temple. He didn't care for it. That you're taking all their money and they have nothing. Sound familiar? Does it sound familiar? That's what's happening now. That God does not always send his best. Okay? When we were voting, it really was, are we better now or were we better before when we were voting? That was really the choice. Financially, with economics, we were better before. And a lot of people were afraid, are we still going to run down this rabbit hole? And so we took the before. A lot of people went, before, let's go before, let's try this again. And a lot of people looked and said, that's not the high priest. Don't care how much money he's got. That's not the number one choice. That's not the person that's maintaining the status quo, right? But God has a plan. He has to pick the person that he thinks that is going to lead us out of what we're going through. He has to pick the person that may be a businessman that has flaws and flaws and flaws, and high priests are stopping and fussing and throwing court cases and having a party, okay, over here, and not looking good because of it, because now the people are looking, because they actually found out that things are not right. We're having a hard time and you're not listening. You know, they rebelled before we were here with the high priest taking over. Countries have rebelled when things have not been on the up and up, that their leaders have taken things. It took a long time for some people to finally figure it out. And they're always throwing something in there. I'm going to tell you, if they come up with, we got to take a vaccine for the bird flu, I will not be there. Okay, I've already read stuff. I'm not doing this, okay, because you're throwing things in the way. You have to follow the money, okay? Have to really follow the money in this stuff. Because even back in that time, Jesus was following the money. God gave you a brain. It's time to follow the money. Trace the money. Listen for where is this coming from? Why did you take all this money and give to bad people when we're supposed to be giving things for good? We have to follow and listen to God. And he may not be, whoever's up there, may not be the person that you want. It may not be the person that you're listening to, but they're telling you a lot of truth. They're trying. Maybe they changed their ways. And they're throwing smoke bombs in front of you so you can't see. Whoever's our leader, I always tell God, take care of them. I don't care. Take care of them so they can take care of us. Get us back on track. And get us where we need to be. We need to be worrying about our financial things, because a lot of people are crashing out. They're fired. They're da-da-da. Okay, people have been fired a lot, especially black people. Okay, even when the crowd was going, we're getting fired, da-da-da. Nobody paid any attention. Now it's supposed to be a major thing. And you know, I told you, always be prepared. Your job is never guaranteed. Okay, when I started teaching, my job, I knew anybody could take your job away in a split second. It could be from a lie. It could be from you accidentally doing something. My son went through several jobs. It was like every time it was somebody sabotaging, we found out, it was because they had saw me in my new car, which was better than theirs. And so they proceeded to sabotage him. One company, was sabotaging some of the other workers because they had had an accident in their parking lot. They even had it written in their code that if there was an accident on the parking lot, if you hit somebody and they saw it on camera, you were fired. They still have that in there. And so, these companies have different rules and everything is not about you. And you should always be prepared instead of, yes, you may have lost your job. Get your butt up and go find another one or make another one. Always be prepared. Even if you're home doing something, start thinking, if I lost this today, what else can I do? And start preparing that, what else can I do? Okay? When people were teaching at home, they should have been preparing, what else can I do? Do I need some more training? Can I do something else? It's like with medical coding. My girlfriend does that. And I said, what else can you do? She does it at home. And I said, are you trained enough that you could start your own business with this? Instead of you being the one doing, can you do something else with it? What else can you think of? And she started thinking. She turned into her business. She didn't have to go out anymore. Other people are doing things. What else can you do with what you're doing? Don't sit there and then blame everybody in America for you thought you were comfy and cushy where you are. You're never comfy and cushy. Especially if you're a person of color. You're never comfy and cushy. We were raised that way. It was like you're not comfy and cushy. As long as there's somebody ahead of you, as long as you do not own your own company, okay, you're not comfy and cushy. And even if you own your own company, you have to be prepared that somebody can sabotage your job, sabotage your company, because they want what you got. They steal. They lie. Those are people we don't want to be with. Some people pretend they know what they're doing, and they don't. And some people are up, they think they're the elite. I know more than you do. I can do that better. Some people will call you dumb. They want to say, you're really stupid, you're dumb, you're uneducated. You may have 50 degrees and they're telling people you're uneducated. You're not uneducated. You're a child of God. They're a child of God, but they've taken the other way. And maybe, like I said, we need to sit and listen because God did not give his best people. The person who is our president may not, in your mind, be the best person. But in God's mind, it's the best person to get us out of what we're going through. That's the stance you have to take. And the others have to back up for a minute until they prove that God picked you to be in charge. Obviously not. They tried. They tried to take him down. God does not want him down right now. It's a different time. He picked the wrong people the first time. I could see the people he was picking. I didn't even know him. I'm sitting there going, that's the wrong person. That is the wrong person. And then our next leader gets into a coup with people that they know better. Really? People he probably was following, telling him what to do. And it turned into a disaster because we know better than you do. We know what the American people do. I can't stand when they go, and the American people. You didn't ask all the American people. Let's change that when we get around to it. But God does not pick the best people. You need to be worrying about your financials right now, your future, what you are going to do with you while this prosperity is getting ready to flow. Because some people are going to get angry. They're talking about the 5,000 Doge, you may get it, you might get it. Some people may get it because they pay taxes. Some people might not get it. Where's mine? You're going to hear all this crap. That's what it is, crap. Going on. Steadily go on. If you're not one to get it, make a plan. Okay? Choose to be prosperous. You're choosing with God. God, I'm choosing to be prosperous with you during this time, with this person that you put into office that is a businessman, that's surrounded by people that know wealth. Okay, wealth. Okay, quit worrying about everything else. Wealth. You should be praying that he's able to do it. Praying that he makes the country strong, right? We need strength back. We don't have strength back. They've been laughing at us. They've been laughing at us, period. People are thinking of taking over America. I heard it. I heard it. And it's sad. But that's the war games they play. And you have to keep your eyes open. Our eyes were not open of what was going on. I'm not mad at the left or the right or whatever. It's games people play. They've been playing it since they were kids. They've been playing it on TV. It just continues. It's us and you within your household to pay attention. That's all. And pay attention with God. You may have to shift your financial goals. You have to figure out, are you going to have an abundant life mindset or scarcity? I can't say it right. SCARITY mindset. Like nothing. I'm broke. Oh, I'm broke now. Broke all the time. Number one, you got to come to the fact that God didn't do it. You did it. He probably gave you every opportunity to save your money, put it in places, and your excuse was, I want to spend. And now you need it. Don't blame him. You need to talk to him and say, where can I get this money back? What do you want to do badly? Ask him, what do I need to do to get this money back in place, to get my life back in place? You may have to change your goals around. There's only 3 goals in life. There's short-term goals. They're short. They're only about 12 to 24 months. This is what I want to do. There's midterm goals. The middle. Okay? Those are 2 to 5 years. What do I want to accomplish in 2 to 5 years? And then there are 5+ goals. 5+ term. This can be different things. The short-term goals could be, I want to renovate my house. I want to build an emergency plan. I want to work on business plans. I need to work on holidays, savings. Mid-term goal could be, I need a down payment for a house. I got 3 more years to pay off my house, or 5 more years. I want to work on that. Okay. I want to move out of the city. I want to move out of the country during that time. I need to get myself together. The third one would be 5 or more. I need to pay off the house. Maybe it's a bigger payment. I need to pay for retirement. Long-term things that are so far out of your reach, that's there. God's giving you a time. Short-term, middle, big one. The big picture. What are you going to do? Don't sit there and worry about it. He's working a plan out. If you listen, it's a plan. And not listen to the other side. Usually what happens, I have no problem with the different like I told you I've been a Republican, Democrat, Independent. I have no problem. Each of them have different things. But, take the time to read like the history of the Democrats, the history of the Republicans, the history of the Independents, and just sit there slowly, do one at a time, not together. I found together is horrific. And study the name changes and who was really against slavery and who was really for slavery and who started all this stuff. You're going to get a bigger picture of what God is looking at. Now, God may be trying to topple some of this stuff that's going on. He doesn't like what's going on with the finances and the money. There was a big prayer that was sent up from people down here. There were more prayers probably during this time than ever. You got the prayer of the people. And God's trying to change it. And I always said the people that holler the loudest, something's wrong. You were in it, or you didn't tell anybody about it. You're just as guilty when you don't tell anybody about it. It's like when somebody's getting hurt and you know they're getting hurt. You didn't hurt the person, but you didn't tell anybody about it. You're just as guilty. It's like when the police pick up people in a car and one person has robbed and the others are in the car and they get the same sentence almost as the other ones. They didn't do anything. Maybe they didn't even know, but they knew something was up. But you didn't tell the police about it. So you're just as guilty because you sat back and you just rolled the airplane wheels right in there with it. Like, okay, I'm going to just hold on to this steering wheel in the airplane. So we got to think too. God is our protector. He's our provider. We may not like the way he does things, but we have to accept what he does. We have to have faith in God. Without faith, it is impossible to please him. Do you know that? You can't please God if you don't have any faith. He rewards those that have faith in him. Hebrews 11:6. Remember, the faith is the substance of things hoped for, and it's the evidence of things not seen. Hebrew 11:1. We got to have some faith. And we got to quit listening to naysayers and work on what we got to do. Because I'm going to work on my finances. I'm going to keep on rolling with my finances. I don't care how high I get with it. I'm going to just keep on going the rest of my life. To show God that I can take care of the abundance that he's going to give me and do what he wants me to do. So take care. Enjoy yourself. You are wonderful. You are part of God's universe. He loves you, whether you think he never doesn't see a thing, but he hears and sees you all the time. He invents struggles sometimes to see, are you still faithful? Are you still going to get through this? Okay? Keep track of those struggles. Did you get out of that struggle? Write it down. Writing it down sometimes is really great. Did you get out of that struggle? Write that struggle down. Don't forget it. He got me out of that. It's getting better. He got me out of this one. Okay. Oop, I got this. I'm all right. Oh, I got an extra $10 this month. All right. Somebody sent me something I didn't expect. Okay. Those are blessings. Enjoy them. Enjoy yourself. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.